name is Melissa Makak, and I'm coming at you with a top 10 list. So this is my top 10 board games that I think video gamers would like. I try to keep in mind as though you're trying to show a video gamer the wonderful world of board gaming. And the way I ranked it was in terms of how much I like the board game in relation to my taste in video games. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, the ranking doesn't quite matter because you know your group or friend or whatever better than I do, obviously. So I'm just going to get right into it with my number 10 being Chronicles of Crime. So Chronicles of Crime I think is really cool because it has that app integration built in. So this might blow video gamers' minds thinking like, oh, I didn't realize that board games could do that and like use technology as well. And this is really for people who like the solving of mysteries in video games and working out puzzles and all that sort of jazz. And I like that kind of stuff too. So I really like Chronicles of Crime, and it's also cooperative, so that could be something that's cool for some video gamers as well. My number 9 is specifically for video gamers who like the, I guess, dexterity nature of video games, and I'm talking about ICECOOL. So ICECOOL is all about hand-eye coordination, right? Like in video games. I think ICECOOL is great because you're flicking around penguins and you're trying to get fish while the lame hall monitor is trying to find you and stop you from having fun. And it is something that you can get better and better at. You can do jump tricks and all that sort of stuff, spinning and whatnot. So this is really good, I think, for people who like side scrollers or things like, Cuphead, Nintendo games, where it's all about like getting that jump or just avoiding monsters and things like that. So that's my number 9, ICECOOL. My number 8 game is Dead of Winter. So I think that this is really cool for video gamers that are into, the zombie genre and, trying to protect their colony or whatever. There's certain games that are like that, survival sort of games. Sometimes where you're actually working together, or maybe it's just a solo story-based mode video game with zombies in it. But this, Dead of Winter, adds a twist where there's a traitor amongst you, right? Which can add to the story of the board game itself. Now, I would introduce this to somebody who is willing to learn a little bit more complicated of a board game, who's new to gaming. So I think this is really cool. This one, you have your own little objective that you have to complete in order to fulfill your whatever happiness, I guess, while also maintaining the colony. But one of you might be trying to ruin all of that for everybody, and I don't really know why, I forget. But anyway, so that one is cool. My number 8, Dead of Winter. My number 7 is for those video gamers who are super into the fast-paced style gaming, right? So those who like the tension and the pressure, and I'm talking about Fuse. Fuse is a really cool game. It's a cooperative, again, where you're chucking dice and you're trying to fulfill objectives as fast as possible while this timer is ticking down, and then you're trying to essentially defuse this bomb. It is very hard to win, and this one might also be really cool if they're not familiar with cooperative board games, and especially ones that are timed like that have that adrenaline pumping action in it. So that is my number 7, Fuse. My number 6 also has that, where it's adrenaline pumping, real-time strategy sort of stuff. Maybe people who like Overcooked or Overcooked 2 would really like this game. I'm talking about Kitchen Rush. So Kitchen Rush, again, like I said, it's a cooperative style game where you're trying to run a restaurant with everybody and there's timers. You're trying to get the recipes and get the food that you need, get the orders ready and everything. You only have 4 rounds to do it. This one is another very difficult game to beat. Again, I would introduce this to someone who is willing to learn a little bit more of a complicated game. I did do a Teach the Teach on this where I think it helps to figure out how to teach this to someone a little bit easier. So that's my number 6, Kitchen Rush. My number 5 is for those video gamers who are all about the story of the game. And that's really what they're there for. They're there for to just be along this ride. And I'm talking about Forgotten Waters. Forgotten Waters is a pirate-themed game, again cooperative, and it's all about the story. Yes, there is real-time stuff going on, which is cool for, I think, video gamers especially. And it's got a little bit of worker placement, so you'll kind of show them a little bit of like what worker placement looks like. But the theme and the story is just like dripping from it. And I think that is really cool. Again, it uses app integration, which I think could blow some video gamers' minds. So that is my number 6, Forgotten Waters. My number 4 is for those who like team versus team games. I'm thinking like MOBAs, which stands for Massive Online Battle Arena or something like that. Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. I think that's what it's called. Right? So things like League of Legends or Dota, things like that, where you each have your own sort of role and special abilities and everything. So Captain Sonar does that really well, where you are in a submarine, and again, it's that real-time strategy sort of game, which again, I think is good for video gamers, but you have your own role and your own like abilities that you can do, and communication is key. So I think that, you know, video gamers who love those types of games, or something like Rocket League and things like that, they would really like Captain Sonar. My number 4. My number 3 are for those who are fans of sandbox style games. Now, I put on the list 2 really, but I'm leaning towards Western Legends because it's a little bit easier. And I think a lot of people like the like Western theme and everything. So people who play like Red Dead Online or Red Dead Redemption, things like that, where it's like open world, you could kind of do what you want. Western Legends has that, right? Where you can be an outlaw, you could be somebody who's lawful, you could, rattle cattle and all that sort of stuff. So you could kind of do whatever you want in this game. I find it a little bit limiting based on like map size, where it doesn't quite feel like sandbox. So if you have a video gamer who is super down to learn a more complicated game, I would recommend Xia Legends of a Drift System with the Embers of a Forsaken Star expansion. That is an essential expansion, I think, to the game. But if they are really willing and you think that they can handle it, totally go for it, because if they like sandbox, I think Xia will surprise them to show them like, hey, yeah, board games can also have a sandbox feel to them as well. So that's my number 3, Western Legends, or if you want to go a little bit more complicated, Xia Legends of a Drift System. My number 2 game is again for those who like the story, but they want to be a more active participant in that story. They're not just there for the story, they're there for like the strategy or whatever it might be. And so mine is Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth. So this is great for those who love Lord of the Rings, the IP in general. But for those video gamers who like story, who like having their choices matter in the game, this is a really fun one. It's a good one, and it's actually pretty simple to learn, I think, because there's not a whole lot going on. And again, with the app integration, I think will be a really cool thing for video gamers. And then my number 1 choice is for those who love survival games, exploration, you're trying to survive, and there's some sort of objective to be had. And I'm talking about Seventh Continent. Seventh Continent, when I first played this game, I felt like I was playing one of those open world video games where I could spend hours in it. And I have spent hours in Seventh Continent, although the game recommends that you only play for like 2 hours at a time. And it's actually helpful for you because then you get more food and everything. But anyway, aside from that, I think this would be an awesome pick for video gamers. It's a little complicated, but not too bad, especially if you're the one running it and you could kind of handle all the like little rules that need to be known, because essentially all they have to know is like, yep, you could play this card if you have these resources, blah, 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 and like the push your luck mechanism and all this sort of stuff. So if they like crafting and survival and everything in open world style video games, I would definitely recommend Seventh Continent, my number 1. Anyway, that is it for this top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your summer spectacular, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one.